it's Nick Schad with GuffandStuff.net. I'm here with Brenda with Geek Chic, right? All right. Do you want to describe what you guys do here?
Well, in a sentence, we make geek lifestyle furniture. So we make coffee tables that are also game tables. We make dining room tables that double as game tables. We make also some really big, very dedicated game room tables. The big thing that we do is everything's made to order. So that means most of our designs come in between 6 and 20 sizes. We have 6 different wood types that we primarily work with. And most importantly, we actually get to know you before we build, because we want to make sure that this piece is basically built to outlast you. So when we say geek lifestyle furniture, we know that you're going to have this for your lifetime. So we do our best to get to know you, what games you play, where it's going to live. Do you have kids? Do you have pets? Do you paint miniatures? Are you a scrapbooker or a jewelry maker? Basically, what are your table-related hobbies? And then we go over all the details with you so that you can make an informed decision. So we act as your furniture advocate, so that when you get a piece from us, you will never be locked into something that may not be the right choice. Because, for example, you might deposit for a coffee table, and then after we talk, I'm like, you play very large games and you're not going to be happy sitting really low, so you might want to transfer it over to a dining room table. So we basically treat you like family, essentially, a little bit, and that we get to know you and make sure you get the right thing for you.
Awesome. So do you want to describe what makes a gaming table here? Like, what makes it different than like a regular table? What's so special about them, essentially?
So a Geek Chic gaming table has what's called a game vault. And the game vault has different layers that are available on the table. Every game vault comes with a vault floor, because you don't want stuff to fall through, turns out. And then there's a transparent layer that's on top of that. So if you put your game underneath that transparent layer, a couple things happen. One, the game can't move. So if it's a game that you build, like a hexagonal board that you put together, no one can bump it. Also, if you put that transparent layer over the top, you can use it as a wet erase board. So you can keep score on the table, you can mark damage, you can decide that you need to pause your game and write who's where, whose turn it is, and then just cover it up, and now it's either your coffee table or your dining room table. And they're really configurable, so different ways that you can set up.
Nice. So looking at it here, we see like there's drawers, there's cup holders, stuff like that. So what do these entail? Like, is there like different kind of drawers, or?
Yeah, we have. This is the Emissary. It's probably our most popular dining and gaming table. It technically comes in 21 sizes, 4 different drawer types and 6 different wood types. And there's drawers that you can have built into the table, and in different styles depending on what games you play. And I can show you how some of those things work if you like.
Yeah, sure. Do you want to go ahead and
Let's see, this is actually a deluxe player drawer. So a deluxe player drawer, when you open the drawer, first of all of our drawers that are also desks lock open. So if you lean into them, or you take that really hot plate of nachos out of the microwave and put it down here and lean forward, it's not in your lap and on your red skirt because you're tacky. So all of our drawers firstly lock open. So this is actually the deluxe player drawer, so it has wings. So it expands out a little bit. So if you're going to use a laptop down here, these drawers are on 100-pound drawer slides, so they're very sturdy. If you have really heavyweight use, we can also upgrade those to 200-pound drawer slides. It doesn't happen that often, but if you want to keep a full set of poker chips in the drawer that are ceramic, maybe it's a good idea to get a little tougher drawer. But anyway, it allows you to expand out. A regular player drawer just doesn't have the wings, and then a GM's drawer I'll show you in a minute, because it does this 3-dimensional transformation thing that, yeah. So in order to close the drawer back in, there's 2 little wood bars that you just lift. They're really sturdy gravity locks, so they close like this. So you just lift on either side, and then they just close in really easily. And then as you can see in the center of the table, there's that kind of shiny layer. So what that shiny layer is that transparent sheet of acrylic. And you lift it with a suction cup to slide your games underneath.
Awesome.
Yeah. And then on the other side, I have a GM's drawer if you want to see it. This is a GM's drawer open, and so what you would do to close it is you actually lift the center part out and tuck it in, and then once again you can't close it until you unlock, and then you can tuck it right in.
Nice, nice.
And then this is that special suction cup that lifts that transparent layer. It's magical, so you actually have to open it in order to unstick it. It's really adorable. We get little kids coming up going, how do you work that? We're like, fun with physics. Haha. And then you just open it up like that. And it also closes up to be a dining room table. And if you like, I can show you that.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead and show us the dining room table close up.
These boards are solid hardwood, so they're heavy, but it also means that they're also very durable. They're tongue and groove, so they lock together, and there's little spring tensioners in between them. So what that means is with expansion and contraction, you always get a nice fit so your leaves don't get stuck inside your table. And then they're also really sturdy. Half the time we do this, so I'll do this for you. So if you stand on your table and you bounce a little bit, as you can see, it's got lots of tensile strength in it, but it also has flex. Hardwood's very strong, but it also has that give to it. So if you put a lot of weight on your table, which you want to be able to use it as a table, right? You'll be okay. You know, I weigh probably more than 3 turkeys, maybe less than 5, that's all I'm saying. So yeah, it's got a very nice, strong, basically tabletop, and it's also really easy to take the leaves back out again because there's a little button. So this little button, you just push that first leaf up, and then you can remove all of the leaves from the table. And then ta-da, you've gotten back to your game room surface. Oh, and we also have something called the rail system. So these are wine glass holders for stemware, but these have a little preventative lock on them. So if you go from sitting to standing, you don't accidentally bump them out. So you actually have to pull back and lift on the back in order to put them anywhere along that. We call that the docking rail, and this is a rail accessory. We also make cup holders, of course, cup and holders and stemware holders. Yeah.
So, all of these are super awesome. As a person who I just got getting tabletop, David, super cool. What gave you that? Like, what started this whole Geek Chic lifestyle?
You know, it probably really started with the owner. He was raised in a crucible of gaming. His grandmother would actually host epic gaming parties, so he's played a little bit of everything over his lifestyle. He's played a little bit of everything over his lifetime. And what actually happened was he ended up making a couple designs for game tables and was kind of thinking of building his own, and his friends started seeing his designs and they were like, "Can we give you money for this?" And it kind of went through his brain a little bit, and he kind of thought, well, maybe I'm the person who's supposed to make these. And he decided if he was going to do it, he was going to do it in such a way where it would last. Because having something that lasts, I mean, as geeks, we're kind of used to having things that are plastic or having things that don't last too long. And so he was like, you know what? We've been gaming for, 40 years for role-playing games, 50 years for war games and more. Card games have been around forever. We deserve nice things, and these are our hobbies. I mean, you can get $10,000 golf clubs, for example, but you can't get a really nice gaming table. I mean, you can kind of get like a felt-covered table, but the felt actually is in the table and doesn't fully remove. We actually have felt surfaces you can get, but they're always fully removable because felt does not last the test of time. So you can always get a new one, and you don't have to like send your table in to get reupholstered or something like that.
So how long have you guys been around? Like, how long has this been company?
We came out in 2008 with the Sultan, and the following year we came out with the Emissary. We went from 3 guys in a garage that year. We were telling everyone, like 6 to 8 weeks, and we ended up taking 70 orders in 6 to 8 weeks between Origins and Gen Con and I think PAX Prime. And 3 guys in a garage so the longest wait times we've ever had in the company were about 18 months. Right now they're hovering at about a year or less. Just kind of depends on what you're having made, where you live, because we manufacture a whole truckload at the same time because they're all custom one-offs. No 2 people, it turns out, want the exact same thing because we're geeks and we all have our own tweaks on our hobbies.
Yeah, I like my dice one way, exactly. So where are you guys based out of right now? Like what?
Oh, we're just north of Seattle in Everett, Washington, and everything is actually handmade there. So it's our craftsmen, everything's done in-house. We don't parse it out to China or anything like that. Yeah.
So I think I have all the questions I wanted to ask. Is there anything else you want to add for anybody else?
Let's see. Right now, all of our stuff is made to order. Our entire line. We have 14 major pieces, and sometime this year we're coming out with we've got the MTO line. We're coming out with the OTS line, so an off-the-shelf line. We've been doing enough now that we have a basic understanding of an average of what people like to order. So we're going to have, for example, the first two pieces we have coming out in the OTS line, which means off the shelf, means they're going to be made in limited inventory, but only 1 or 2 SKUs. So you'll be able to get, for example, a small hoplite maybe in walnut or cherry. And then we have a table coming out called the Vanguard, which is a 3x5 table that doesn't have hardwood leaves on it, but has a 1-piece solid surface. So the 1-piece solid top isn't necessarily heirloom quality, but the rest of the table is. And you could always add on hardwood leaves over time, we think, in the future. So we're really excited to kind of come out with that off-the-shelf solution for people who are like, a year is a really long wait. We know that the wait is the hardest part. We really do. But it's so worth it once you get it.
All right, and then, so one last one. Do you have anything besides tables, or do you guys just have strictly tables?
Yeah. No, we make coffee tables and dining tables, obviously, and really big dedicated game room tables, but we also make comic book storage. We also make flat file storage, as well as some display solutions, and some of the weirdest, comfiest hardwood chairs on the market. We have more people walk up to our chairs and go, well, it just looks like a chair. What's so special about it? And we're like, sit in it. And then they sit down. In fact, I've got one behind me. You can do the test yourself.
Sure, I'll go ahead and try it out.
You've never sat in our chairs.
Nope, not at all.
So this is an
All right.
8-hour chair.
So, you weren't kidding. It is really comfortable.
It's weird. It's weird. It's like instant. Like your body
Yeah.
goes, oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I get it. So yeah, the tagline we had for that is patented but hugging technology. It's very scientific.
Yeah, I know. I can never feel it. When you're gaming, you're there for, I mean, at least 3 or 4 hours, you know. So this is really comfortable. I can see being comfortable for multiple hours.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
right on. Well, do you want to tell us where you can find you guys at all?
Oh, sure. We're at geekchichq.com, so geekchichq.com, and that's where you can find us. Lots of pretty pictures.
Awesome. Well, if you guys are interested, check them out. Super awesome stuff, it looks like. Well, I've been Nick Schad. Thanks for viewing.
GuffandStuff.net